Alright, so today I've got a pretty interesting video for you about why you need to ditch the English, right? And you need to stop translating in your head, because the whole point of AJATT, right? The whole point of not going the traditional way with the textbooks and the classrooms is so that you can build that pure instinct in Japanese, right? So how are you going to do that if you're constantly going back and forth with the English and the Japanese in your head? So I'm just going to kind of explain this real quick. Basically, the cure, right? Step one, you just need to know the first most common 1,000 words, right? This is just gonna help you in basically all areas of Japanese, right? But until you know that, you're going to need these 1,000 words as the base for the next step, right? Because that's gonna make up 80% or around like 80% of common speech, right? So generally, it's okay to use English for this part, right? But not past the 1,000 words. And I'm just gonna explain real quick. The hard part of all this is that once you hit those 1,000 words, right, you need to make the monolingual switch, right? And what that means is every time you learn a new word, right, every single time you see something new, you're going to take that Japanese word and then put it in a Japanese to Japanese dictionary, right? Like the dictionary that Japanese people use. So that means you're gonna have to start doing all your word lookups in Japanese to Japanese dictionary only. But the whole point of doing that 1K words is because when you go to look this stuff up, right, you're going to be able to kind of get the gist of it, and obviously your comprehension is going to go up as you go along, right? But if you cannot figure it out, then that's when you go to the English dictionary after. But personally, and I've seen a couple other people say this as well, and it's so true, is that you should be trying to use the Japanese to Japanese dictionary on day one, right? And why should you even bother? Right? Because the more exposure you get, the easier it is to think in Japanese, the easier it is to build that natural instinct, right? Because when you start to do this more, the effect is just gonna compound over and over time, right? So the mindset I wish that I had more often when I was beginning in this was to avoid English like the plague, right? Because if you can lock in more on the Japanese, and you can get the feel for it. It takes time, right? The whole immersion method, just learning language in general, it takes time. But with the main benefit of all of this, the main benefit of the immersion method is that you're building the instinct of it, instead of being one of these guys who sat there translating in his head back and forth, right, trying to figure out the grammar structure, right? The entire point of AJATTing, of learning through immersion, is so that you don't have that, so that you have that second brain, right? That second personality, whatever it needs to be, that second version of you that's all Japanese, that doesn't need to think in English, because you built that instinct from the ground up. So yeah, of course it's gonna be hard at the start, right? Of course it's gonna suck, of course, all this stuff. But when you start to do this more, right, the effect is just gonna go more and more. So that's all I have for this video, real short video. But if there's one thing I want you to take away just from today, start doing the Japanese to Japanese lookups, and you're just gonna, I promise you, you're just gonna see your comprehension go up and up and up, right? And yeah, if you've seen any of my videos of me in Japan, right, I can surely tell you the reward is worth it. So as long as you don't give up, as long as you keep going, you will eventually hit the goal, okay? And I hope to be living proof of this when I pass, N1, even if it's not fluency, right? I just want to be living proof of this anyway. So thank you all for watching. それじゃあまたね。